Not to try to through the earth. Me no look back, me no reverse. Put in the work, me know my worth. Better have a million, one panic for spit a verse. Yeah, money in the bank. What the hell is people think? I'm not playing no games. I got kids to feed, yeah. Get the bread to the house. No little piece of cheese, me no mouse. Show me no burger, me no boss. You make them know my money long like chain smoke. Yeah, nothing describe the feeling I get when I reap the rewards from my hard work and sweat. I just love success. Can't describe the feeling I get when I reap the rewards from my hard work and sweat. I just love, hey, chop. Hawk so much in on the back, them says a mill. Ha, tell them that's not enough, go put a bill. See them a try mash up the game, but they are still great reggae music, nobody can kill. I hit Dennis Brown and Bob Marley Bill. I hit Junior Gang and Chronic still a sing. Half the whole world just a bounce and a swing. Everybody want the tune, but a yellow addy. Just get a sheng, yeah. On the CBR, no more yang yang. All over social media, yeah, we're trending. And this is the beginning of the end. Not to try to through the earth. Me no look back, me no reverse. Put in the work, me know my worth. You better have a million, one panic for spit a verse. Yeah, money in the bank. What the hell is people think? I'm not playing no games. I got kids to feed, yeah. Get the bread to the house. No little piece of cheese, me no mouse. Show me no burger, me no boss. You better know the money long like chain smoke. Yeah, nothing describe the feeling I get when I reap the rewards from my hard work and sweat. I just love success. Can't describe the feeling I get when I reap the rewards from my hard work and sweat. I just love, take it up. Get the bread to the house. No little piece of cheese with no mouse. Show me no burger, me no boss. You better know the money long like chain smoke. I'm not playing no games. I got kids to feed, yeah. Keep putting in the work, so I know what I, hey, not to try to through the earth. Me no look back, me no reverse. Put in the work, me know my worth. You better have a million, one panic for spitter. Nothing describe the feeling I get when I reap the rewards from my hard work and sweat. I just love success. Can't describe the feeling I get when I reap the rewards from my hard work and sweat. I just love so. Everybody goes so. Nothing describe this feeling. I can't describe this feeling. Nothing describe this feeling. I can't describe this feeling. Nothing describe the feeling I get when I reap the rewards from my hard work and sweat. I just love success, yes.
All right, folks, once again, One Panic and the Dub Squad with Natty Trodding. And a gentleman beside me was into it too. We move on. Today, we will be gathering insights from the younger generation, like myself, exploring their reasons for abstaining from voting and discussing the changes they aspire to witness. Please welcome Yoshina Goss, External Affairs Chairperson for the Governance Society, EAC, on the phone. And with me, Perry Cummings, Faculty of Social Science and a Guild Rep at UA Mona. Good morning. Yoshina, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Thank you for having me.
It is my pleasure. Welcome. I'm going to read something that was written in 2016 by a young, well, it says Andrew King. And the headline says, "Why the Young Won't Vote." He says, "Young people don't join political parties because they don't offer any real change. If they join at all, it's because it's a great joke to tell a friend." He says, "Young people are disillusioned with electoral politics and political parties and feel let down by public policy." He says, "Who can blame us?" Because he went on to say some things that they protest about still happens. That was written in 2016. Yoshina, let me start with you. How do you feel about that? Is that something that you agree with or no?
I agree to some extent because I think the frustration comes from our political leaders and flaws in our electoral process itself. I personally believe that my voice isn't being heard simply because whenever there is someone in power, they don't necessarily represent our views. Beginning their campaign, they may go ahead and basically do what it is that is expected of them. But then slowly as they get accustomed to the system, their views or their interest switches from mine to theirs. So it's more so you vote in people that you believe will represent your issues, and then once they're in power, they basically switch to their personal reasons.
Yeah, because of what you said, I'm sticking with you, Yashina.
Yeah.
Do you think young people don't vote because of that? And I'm not asking you whether you voted or not. I'm not asking you that at all. But do you think young people not going to vote because of just what you said?
No, not just that, but also because of the polling stations, because you have to travel to go back home in order to vote. For example, if you live on campus, you'd have to travel all the way back for me to St. Elizabeth to vote. All right?
Okay.
Yes, you may be able to go down and vote, but because of the inconveniences, a lot of people do not vote because of that. And two, because they don't, once I said, as we said before, their voices are not being heard.
Yep. Perry, I don't know the demographic who voted. I know it was 29%.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think the average was about 30%, to be honest, with local government elections. Why do you think only 29%? And again, I'm not certain. Maybe the 29% was all young people. I don't know.
We don't know.
But why do you think we only had 29%?
It's a matter of perspective, definitely. When it comes to young people, most of the young people that I come across, the narrative is always a case where they feel so distant from politics and they feel as if the political leaders have not been connecting with young people successfully, and they see politics as a big people thing. So because it's a big people thing, I don't see the need to get involved. And then there's this narrative about politics and the whole issue of it being very much controlled, and the whole business of corruption comes up into play. So that may give persons a little standoffish, approach when it comes to politics. So I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of persons shy away from it.
Yeah. Yashina, back to you, because you said you had to go, if you needed to vote, you'd have to go back to St. Elizabeth. How else could it be done? You're a student at UWI, obviously, but how else could it be done? Are you suggesting that you should be able to vote at any polling station that you want to vote at?
In a sense, but also since you have a large demographic of young people at the university campuses, why not set up a polling station here to accommodate them? Okay.
What would you like to hear from the person that, what would make you want to vote for a representative? What do you want to hear from that person?
Okay, so it depends. There are certain issues that I personally care about, for example, education. I would like for them to basically put more focus on education, not just STEM, but also civic education, because a lack of interest in voting and our political leaders stems from that as well, because they themselves do not know what they should look for in a leader, what their manifesto is, because when you get a manifesto, it's full of jargons that average people is not able to understand. So once they start to shorten their manifesto or basically make it a little more transparent so the average person could understand, then maybe we could see a difference. For me, once again, they need to focus on the issues that young people face. Civic education is one, financial education is one, which is a personal interest of mine. But we see a lot of our leaders focusing on, not saying that these are not important areas, very important areas, but once you fix the issues at the root, then you may see some change. Because we all know that financing college is another big issue. We all know that financing a home, job security is another issue, but there is not much emphasis being placed on those.
Yeah, agree with that, Ben?
Yeah, I believe Yashina would have made some powerful points. For example, there is the narrative that fees raise every year at UWI. It gets more and more expensive to actually study at the tertiary level. Now, questions that students will ask, me voting, how will that help me to actually afford an education at that level? Is it just for those who can afford it? You know, how does my vote paves the path for me to true success? So those are the questions that young people are asking. To touch on something else that Ms. Gosford have mentioned, the whole business of the convenience where voting is concerned. So I read that France, Pakistan, I think Panama would have implemented some online voting system for some voters who would have been overseas. So they were born in the country, but they're in the diaspora. I was thinking to myself, we're living in such a very technological age. Why not implement something similar to that, where voting could be more convenient? Young people are very tech savvy, and I think we have the necessary technology that could make that a possible avenue, and I think it would increase the actual voter turnout.
Yep. Yashina, I want to ask you the same question I asked Perry earlier about the reason they call it what, voting apathy, why people don't want to vote. And again, I don't know the demographics of what happened at the start of this week, so it could very well be only young people who vote. But why do you think more people don't go out there? 29% is pretty low, isn't it?
No. Okay, so like Mr. Cummings said, it is about convenience, for one. And two, many first-time voters do not understand the registration requirements, the ID needs, and the roles of the persons who is in office. So I think the schools need to proactively teach the students about the voting process. They need to be informed individuals that tell us, okay, this is where you go to vote, this is when you need to vote, this is what you need to look for in a council.
Yeah.
And these councils need to be 100% transparent, not just turning into somebody completely new when it's election time and then switching back once they're elected.
Final question. Some people are saying if you don't vote, shut up your mouth. And then some other people say, well, I didn't vote, but I pay a tax and I do this and I do that. Do you agree that if you did not vote, you don't have no chat in what people do in the country and how the country is run? Yashina, do you agree with that?
To some extent, yes. Because at that point, you have a right to vote. You kind of have a say in who leads the country and the decisions that they make. But if you give up that right out the bat, then whatever happens, you should be okay with it, essentially.
Very, very interesting. We have to go. I wish you guys could come spend some more time with me. Thanks, Yashina. God bless you and the family. Have a great year. And thanks, Perry. Good to see you.
No problem.
Yashina Goss,
Thank you for having me.
External Affairs Chairperson in AAC for the Governance, and Perry Cummings Jr., a Perry in Christ, Faculty of Social Science, Guild Rep at the UA Mona. All right, folks, the second edition of News in 5 comes up now. Then we will continue after that. Stay with us, please. Soon come.